It was a chilly evening when I decided to indulge in some relaxation at the local hot tub spa. The warm water seemed inviting, promising to soothe away the stress of the day. Little did I know that this ordinary evening would soon become a turning point in my life, rekindling a connection I thought was lost forever. As I settled into the bubbling warmth of the hot tub, I couldn't help but reminisce about the past, particularly about Megla, my ex, who had once been my neighbor. Our story had been brief but intense. Megla was 7 years older, and I had always admired his maturity. Despite my initial hesitation, I had eventually mustered the courage to pursue him, and to my surprise, he agreed to date me. However, our whirlwind romance soon turned tumultuous. Megla's words and actions often left me questioning my self-worth. In just 3 months, the love I had hoped would blossom into something beautiful began to wither under the weight of his indifference. Eventually, Megla decided to move away, leaving behind a trail of shattered dreams and unanswered questions. We drifted apart, each carving out separate paths in life. Lost in thought, I barely noticed the arrival of another guest at the hot tub. It wasn't until she spoke that I realized who it was. Megla. My heart skipped a beat as a rush of conflicting emotions flooded my senses. What was he doing here? And why now, after all this time? Megla seemed equally surprised to see me, his expression a mix of disbelief and uncertainty. For a moment we sat in awkward silence, the only sound the gentle hum of the water jets. Then, as if compelled by some unseen force, we began to talk. At first, the conversation was stilted, filled with cautious inquiries and guarded responses. But as the minutes ticked by, the walls we had built around ourselves began to crumble. We spoke of the past, of the memories that still haunted us both. And with each word exchanged, the distance between us seemed to shrink. As the evening wore on, the atmosphere shifted, becoming charged with a tension that crackled in the air. It was as if the universe itself conspired to bring us together, to give us a chance to right the wrongs of the past. And then, in a moment of reckless abandon, our lips met in a fiery kiss that sent sparks flying. In that instant, the past ceased to matter, and all that existed was the raw, unbridled passion that pulsed between us. As we parted ways that night, the weight of our shared history hung heavy in the air. But for the first time in a long time, I felt a glimmer of hope stirring within me. Perhaps our story wasn't over after all. Perhaps, against all odds, there was still a chance for us to rewrite the ending and find our way back to each other.